On his first weekend in a top restaurant, Harry almost got fired. Dinner service began quietly. Then the rush arrived. Tickets started piling up. Steaks, garnishes, sauces, special orders. The head chef, Chef Clarkson, shouted across the kitchen. Pans slammed. Timers beeped. Plates moved faster and faster. Harry wanted to impress the chef, so he tried to keep track of everything. Every steak temperature, every garnish, every instruction, every possible mistake. His thoughts became louder than the kitchen. Did I salt that? Was that table medium rare or medium? The chef is watching. Don't mess this up. The more he tried to control everything, the worse it became. Orders got delayed, a steak overcooked, another plate went out wrong. He even collided with another chef, who almost dropped the tray. Safe, he thought out loud. Then Chef Clarkson shouted at him, "Harry, stop! Just stop!" Harry froze. Had he ruined another steak? Was something burning? He reached toward the pan to flip the steaks. But Chef Clarkson grabbed him by the shoulders. "Harry, time out 30 minutes!" He pointed towards the back door, but Harry stood there confused. "Get out of my kitchen now!" He yelled at him again. Service continued without him. Harry stood in the back alley behind the restaurant. His apron was still on. His hands were shaking. He had dreamt of cooking in a place like this, and on his very first weekend, he had fallen apart. He sat on a milk crate and wiped his face. Only then did he realize he was tearing up. When he went back, the rest of the service went by in a blur of poor cooking. That night, Harry recalled his father's voice during a similar problem. "When the work gets hard," he had said, handing him a hammer, "practice until your hands know what to do." Young Harry nodded, trying to build a chair, but his father continued, "Then stop watching yourself work. Let the hands do what they practiced. When that happens, you disappear into the work. That's called flow. Nothing else matters in that moment." Harry stared at the ceiling, and slowly, it clicked. He wasn't cooking. He was watching himself cook, monitoring, judging. Researchers call this too much self-monitoring. When people keep judging themselves, worrying about mistakes or what others think, the brain splits its attention. Part of it does the task. Part of it judges the task. Flow disappears. But when people become deeply focused on an activity, something interesting happens. Instead of thinking about the work, the person does deep work. Harry got out of bed and walked straight to his kitchen. He began practicing right away. The next night he had ordered 20 steaks. He began cooking them in batches, over and over. Season, sear, flip, baste, rest, plate, season, sear, flip, baste, rest, plate, again and again. By the end of the week, his hands, blistered and sore, knew the order better than his thoughts did. Then Saturday night arrived again. Dinner service began, and once again, the rush exploded. Tickets flying, chefs shouting, pans clanging. For a moment, the stress returned. Harry felt the stern eyes of Chef Clarkson on him. But this time, he understood the problem. He stopped trying to control everything and followed the rhythm of the work. Tickets, steaks, heat, knife, chop, sizzle, butter foaming, flip, plates sliding across the pass, potatoes plated, steak placed, garnish topped, served, done. Next ticket. The kitchen was still loud, but the noise faded into the background. Harry wasn't thinking about cooking anymore. He was cooking. Time behaved strangely in that moment. Minutes felt like seconds, yet every movement felt sharp and clear. He could see and hear every detail without thinking about it. The knife hitting the board, 8 steaks sizzling away at once, butter bubbling around the edges, the plate sliding onto the counter. He never knew where the time went. When the last dish left the pass, Harry finally put the knife down and looked up. The kitchen erupted, chefs cheering. Someone clapped him on the shoulder. His apron was soaked in sweat, but he barely remembered the rush itself. Harry finally understood what his father meant. Flow doesn't come from trying harder. It comes from practicing deeply and then letting go of control. The mind stops watching, and the work begins to move on its own. Athletes describe it. Musicians feel it. Writers chase it. And sometimes, it happens in the middle of a loud kitchen on a Saturday night. And it can happen to you as well. Remember to share this story with someone who needs to learn the flow state as well. And we will see you soon.